If I wanted Canada to fail, to suffer and not prosper, to decline and not grow, to despair and not dream, I'd start with the economy. I'd make a tax code so complex and so bloated that if you were to attempt to read it, by the time you finished, it would have already changed. I'd propose boutique tax credits to get votes instead of reducing taxes for all Canadians. If I wanted Canada to fail, I'd launch an economic platform founded on class warfare, and I'd pretend like our issue in society is the rich and not over-regulation. I'd act like we have the best healthcare system in the world, even though we rank second last in the OECD. And I'd ignore the fact that waiting months to see a specialist isn't healthcare at all. If I wanted Canada to fail, I'd remain oblivious to the fact that Canadians need more choice and not more government. I'd act like our economy can grow on big government and wishes, while ignoring the fact that markets put roofs over our heads, cars in our driveways, and food on our tables. If I wanted Canada to fail, I'd make it easier to stop commerce than to start it, simpler to kill jobs than to create them, and more fashionable to resent success than to seek it. When an industry seeks to create jobs and fill the needs of citizens, I'd take them to court, and I'd make taxpayers pay for my lawyers. I would disguise managed trade as free trade and ignore that real free trade is what uplifts the poor, establishes the middle class, and creates lasting prosperity. I'd talk about property rights, but make farmers tear down their own homes built on their own land. I'd get elected on a platform of Senate reform and do nothing about it despite countless allegations of corruption and inappropriate behavior. I'd empower unelected bureaucracies to bully Canadians about what type of milk they can buy, what they can watch on TV, and where they can get a cell phone plan from. If I wanted Canada to fail, I wouldn't just erode economic liberties. I'd go after civil liberties as well. I'd exploit tragic events to promote my agenda of Big Brother spying. And I'd take Canadian spy agencies, turn them inward, and subject all Canadians to warrantless surveillance. I'd fearmonger voters by saying that sacrificing privacy is necessary for security, even though you're more likely to be struck by lightning than you are to be a victim of terror. I'd boast about being tough on crime, although most of the people I lock up are for crimes that have no victim. I'd create a second tier of citizenship and threaten to revoke it for criminal behavior. I'd launch a xenophobic campaign against the cultural and religious activities of minorities. And I'd use this narrative to send our troops back to the Middle East, spending tens of thousands of dollars bombing a dump truck. While engaging our military in the Middle East, I'd ignore that our last short Middle Eastern mission lasted for over a decade, and I'd ignore the reality of our desperate need to defend our Arctic sovereignty. I'd promise to defend the rights of responsible gun owners, but still treat them as second-class citizens and jail them for paperwork crimes. If I wanted Canada to fail, I'd offer mainstream political alternatives that aren't alternatives at all. I'd give you an official opposition that's more threatened by junk food than joblessness, and a third party that wants to ride a platform of nothingness all the way to Ottawa. If I wanted Canada to fail, I suppose I wouldn't change a thing.